Housing is more than just building a house. It's building a community. It's connecting it with the educational services, with the recreational facilities, with a whole lifestyle that's grounded in Huu-ay-aht culture and tradition. My name's Rob Botterill. I'm legal counsel for Huu-ay-aht, and I'm honored to be the chair of the Huu-ay-aht Independent Housing Panel.
I'm Kim Baird. I'm the former chief of Tsawwassen First Nation, and I served on the Social Services panel, and am now serving also on the Social Services Task Force, and was asked to help out with the housing panel as well.
My name is Anne Vu, and I'm the project manager for the Independent Housing Panel. My work is primarily to engage with citizens and collect feedback on all things housing.
My name is Kevin Albers. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Macola Housing Society and Macola Development Services. We operate affordable housing mostly for Indigenous families and elders in the province. And I've been brought into the Independent Housing Panel to give it a perspective of what it's like and what's realistic on the ground around development and operations of affordable housing for Indigenous peoples.
My name is John Dumbrell. I'm a principal with Urban Systems. The reason I believe that I was honored to be asked to be part of the panel was to bring that integrated perspective of community planning to the work of the panel. Well, this is bringing together the demographic and population information that we understand about Huu-ay-aht, how that translates into housing needs for the community, and then beyond that, all of the things that are required to be in a mutually supportive way come along with housing.
The panel has quite a broad mandate to look at a comprehensive strategy that would look into developing housing, affordable housing for Huu-ay-aht citizens over the next number of years. Housing is a tough issue nationally. It's a really tough issue for First Nations to get assistance on.
So we see challenges similar to what Huu-ay-aht is facing in terms of having sufficient resources to build proper housing, overcrowding within housing, the condition of housing and maintaining it over the long term, certainly providing really good infrastructure to that housing.
There's often programming that comes in that enforces rules that aren't really culturally appropriate often, whether it be social housing through CMHC. So there's a huge array of issues that First Nations have faced over the decades in ensuring there's safe and adequate homes in our communities. Very few First Nations have succeeded at resolving these issues.
So the panel became aware very early of the three sacred principles of Huu-ay-aht First Nations, Hishak-Misawak, everything is connected. Housing can't be done just in isolation. It is connected to many other things in the community, the environment, recreation, healthcare, social services, education.
The long-term outlook for Huu-ay-aht's housing needs is huge, and the panel thought it was important to get going right away and supported the idea of an interim modular housing project just because we know the gap in need is so high. By implementing this project, we will learn a lot about the challenges for housing developments in the Huu-ay-aht community.
From citizens, we've heard that they need a job to come home. They need affordable housing options. They need childcare support. They need things to do in Anakla, healthy, safe things to and activities for their families and children. They need to have access to transportation.
A number of things that surround this notion of housing in Anakla are incredibly important. A better road connection to Port Alberti, enhanced education facilities in Anakla and particularly in Bamfield with the school and the population that is diminished there. Better healthcare services in Anakla, more recreation facilities, and certainly economic development and employment opportunities to be able to make a good living and have a good career in Anakla were all things that citizens mentioned to us as being incredibly important, along with excellent housing in Anakla. We're looking at multi-purpose buildings because we see a wide range of needs for things such as more facilities for elders, enhanced daycare facilities in the community.
The panel is quite sensitive that we are external and independent and understand that a Huu-ay-aht housing strategy must be led by Huu-ay-aht citizens. Engagement will continue to be critical. We need as many Huu-ay-aht citizens to reflect on this report over the next number of months to ensure that it does align with Huu-ay-aht goals from the citizens we've heard so far, if it reflects what they've told us. And we hope that we would love 100% of people wanting housing if they would engage and reply to some of the things that are raised in the report.
The most important recommendation in this interim report is to ensure that Huu-ay-aht citizens participate in the next phase and provide us a whole bunch more valuable input that we can incorporate into our final report and recommendations.
It's not too late to hear from the other citizens that have not been able to provide input. And it is really important that we hear from the citizens that have not provided input yet.
Now is the opportunity that this nation and nations across this country have been waiting for, and this is the time that we need to seize it and really take a perspective to leverage both federal and provincial housing programs, infrastructure programs, and capacity programs to really support the initiatives of the Huu-ay-aht Nation.
We're really hopeful because the federal and provincial government are stepping up, the Huu-ay-aht government is stepping up, but most importantly, and what's been really encouraging, is citizens are really engaging and providing us with a lot of helpful ideas on how to make this work. This report is the citizens' report. This is a citizen-driven report on how we're going to create affordable quality housing in Anakla and upgrade the road and the education services and all the things that will make this a fabulous community. This isn't an easy problem to solve, but if we can all work together, it is soluble. So I'm very hopeful, and I think you'll find that the final report and recommendations offer a positive, optimistic view of how we can successfully tackle this problem. And ultimately, the goal is to have half of Huu-ay-aht back home, living in quality, affordable housing in a vibrant, culturally sustainable community. And that's all possible